Welcome to the Affinity Sports online registration system provided by Cal North Youth Soccer Association. For league and club registrars, you first want to log in on the left-hand side under User Login. Please enter your username and password and click Login. You will notice up at the top you have a menu bar that says Leagues and Teams and My Account. And over on the left-hand side you'll have a hierarchy of leagues, clubs, teams, players and administrators, ID cards, event manager, sanctioned tournaments, these menus here are for scheduling for league play or tournaments. And then we have reports, email blasting, sign out, and technical support. If you're a league registrar or league administrator, you will have this kind of left-hand navigation. If you're a club administrator, you'll see everything from clubs and then down below. First off, you want to go to leagues on the left-hand side. You hit select league. This will pull up your league configurations. You first want to go to the security tab. And this is where you set up users for your board. So for example, we give a league registrar full access to the system. They'll have the ability to create teams, add players, print player passes, and the official Cal North roster. You might have board members such as presidents, director of coaching, treasurer, and for those users you can give them viewing rights, which is this one here, league board member, which means they can view all the data but they can't make changes, delete any information. We give all of those permissions to the registrar. We also have league registrar no card printing and assistants. So some of the larger organizations might have assistants that help form the teams, but they don't want them to have the ability to print cards or rosters. The next role we have is an age group coordinator role. This role is designed for organizations that want to separate permissions based on age and play type. So for example, maybe you have a rec divisional coordinator that's in charge of U4, U5, U6, U7, and U8, and you want to grant those permissions to that individual. The next person you might say only has access to U11 through U19. The next tab I'm going to cover is registration. This is where you set up your level of play or play levels. If your organization has competitive, you would select competitive. You might also have recreational. You give it a play level code. I'll put R for rec. And you might also offer a top soccer program. Once you have created your play levels, this stays on the system from season to season, year to year. All you would need to do is opt into the new seasonal year. So for example, there might be a principal season and an off season. If you click on principal season, you check off the age groups associated with that play type. So for recreational, maybe you don't have anything U15 and older, so you would simply uncheck these age groups here. You want to check coach and player and scroll down and hit update. All these other configurations up here you usually don't go into. We set all that up at what we call the club level. So some leagues in Cal North have multiple clubs underneath them. You simply select this down arrow here and you go into your club. Even if you are just a league, you'll always have one default club in our system in case you want to use us for online registration. This is a redundant step, but you do come back down here and recheck off the age groups because again, the league might have different settings than the club level. In this grid here, show on public registration, requires payment, automatically accept. These are configurations set for your online registration. So if you're not using Affinity Sports as your provider, you don't have to worry about any of these settings here. You just need to select the age groups and make sure your play types, coach and player, are selected. If you are using Affinity Sports for online registration, you will first click on Club Config and make sure you have a domain name or a URL set up. Usually a representative at Affinity Sports will assist you in setting up your online, but you do have the flexibility to set it up yourself. So I have CYSA-N-Affinity Sports Demo Club.sportsaffinity.com. This is the link you would put on your website when you're ready to go live. The next area again is Registration tab. This is where you would set up your registration fees. So for example, for competitive, let's say you set up your fee as $500, and you can also set up a payment plan. Tell the system how many installments, and then you click on this edit option and you can change the amount of the deposit if you want to charge more for the first deposit or installment. You can also use this calendar for a date range. So let's say, for example, you want the payment to come out the 15th of every month. So January, February 15th, etc. Once you update one, you can scroll down and hit this Apply Settings. So any other age group that has a $500 registration fee for competitive would be on the same payment plan structure. Next, you can jump over to recreational. You would select registration fee. We'll say it's $100. M means it's a mandatory fee. We also offer optional fees. So for example, if you want parents to opt in, let's say for a jersey or an extra hoodie or soccer ball, you can create other products. You can use this other feature and you can label it anything you'd like. Call it a field fee, let's say. Okay. So once you've created your registration fee, you would just come down and hit Create. If you offer any kind of discounts, we have sibling discounts, max family discount, promotional codes, and returning player discount. Promotional codes are really good for board members. So for example, if you have a coach or team administrator and you want to give them a discount on their child's registration, you can set up a promo code and distribute that out to that family. Next, we have custom fields. So these are additional gathering tools. So for recreational, maybe you have a friend request or a coach request. You could come down here, say show on application, it applies to players, and they could put 100 characters in. So you would say add custom field. You can click here to create another one. Maybe you have something volunteers needed. You can do check boxes. Those are good if they want to be able to answer more than one question. Then you give them options, head coach, assistant coach, team manager, picture day, etc. Radio buttons are good for yes, no kinds of questions. You can give a drop-down menu where they select an option from the drop-down, or you can use a list box. The next is fields. This is every page of the online registration process. So we give you the tools to edit and customize your online registration for branding purposes for your organization. So you can simply click this next option, and if you wanted to write text on the front page, you could say, welcome to Affinity Sports Online Registration. And then you could come down and hit save. And that would show up as text on the top of the page for your parents. Okay. In addition, we have a series of radio buttons here where you can choose to make certain fields hidden or required, or just shown on the public page where they can type in an answer, but it's not required. So height and weight you might not want to show, but you might want the school name required, grade, and uniform information. Okay. Next, we have a Content tab. This is where you set up the look and feel of your online registration. So you can change the color scheme to a different color option. That's the background color here. So I have black and red selected for this demonstration. You can upload a banner, logo, sponsorship, any kind of ad space you'd like. You just scroll down and hit update. Next, documents and forms. So the CalNorth player registration form will print at the end, which will pre-populate all the parent information, player information, everything that was collected during the online registration process. But if you have a scholarship form, any code of conduct, anything like that that you'd like actually a parent to sign at the end, you could upload it here. We also offer electronic legal agreements. These are really good for refund policies, any kind of documentation that you want parents to sign electronically online. The last part I'll cover with online registration is messaging. Our system will send a confirmation email roughly 2 minutes after the parent submits the registration online. So this is just an email template. You can change and customize it to say anything you'd like. And the parent usually does read the email after they've signed up online to make sure it has gone through. Okay, and for more information, we recommend that you contact an Affinity Sports representative, and we would walk you through all of this again. And we also offer websites, so if you're interested in hosting a website through our system, that is also a feature available here that you can set up. Okay. Next, I'm going to go over here to Players/Administrators on the left-hand side and click on Add Player Administrator. This is the data entry field of the Affinity Sports system. So for example, if you have a stack of paper registration forms and you want to data entry them in, this is where you will set them up. We do require at least one parent or guardian. So you enter the address, city, state, and zip code. The 2 red asterisks here just means that one of the phone numbers is a required field. Most people nowadays just have a cell phone, so you can just put a cell phone in if you'd like. Email address here on the data entry is not a required field, but we do recommend if a parent provided it that you do type it in here. We have really great messaging tools and communication tools available on our system where you can email your membership. So now that you've added the parent, you can go to Add Next Family Member and add the spouse. Or again, you can just come down and hit Save and Add Players now that you've added the one parent or guardian that's required. Once you click this button, right now our system is checking for matches and to prevent duplicates on the system. So we're matching against the name, the address, the phone, and the email that's in the system. If the system did locate a match, the player's information would show up in this rectangular box here on the left-hand side. You would simply click on the player's name and it would populate all their information. If the player was already accepted by another league or club, you would get a message here saying the player's already accepted and you're not able to add to your club. So I'll go ahead and add a test player. Select the gender. Enter the player's date of birth and school name. The system will automatically default to your league. If you're a club registrar, it'll automatically default to your club. And then you simply select the play level. Is it a competitive player or recreational? Now, there's a shortcut. If your teams are created in the system, you simply check these 3 boxes: payment received, accepted, and legal waivers. We're not verifying the payment unless you're using us for online registration, but this is a good flag or an alert to kind of make the registrar, make sure that this player has made payment before you add them to a team. Accepted means you accept them into your organization, and legal waivers are birth certificates or legal documents for proof of age. Again, if your teams are created, you'll get your team listed here in the drop-down and you can roster the player directly to the team. If this child has a sibling that's also playing in that league or club, you can go here to Add Next Family Member and add that sibling. Otherwise, you simply scroll down, hit Save and Continue. And now the system jumps you back to the original page, and now you would add the next family and their child. Next, I'm going to go over here to Player Lookup. This is how you search for the players that you've just added. You can sort by play type, competitive or rec. You can search by the gender, boys or girls. If it's a co-ed team, you would look for boys and you can put girls on it. And then you can always search by the age group. So I'll go ahead and hit the search button. And I have 12 competitive boys that I've added to this test league. You can simply click on this envelope, scroll down and hit email selected, and this will pull up an email template. So you can change the from name, so you could say from Affinity Sports. You have to enter a valid from email address. So this could be the registrar's email, president's email, it could be an email for the club. The subject, and then you can upload an attachment. You can do a PDF document, you can do a Word document, pretty much anything you'd like except for Excel. You can also use macros. This helps personalize the email. So, dear mom and dad, this email is to inform you that there are no games this weekend for your child. So you can pull in the child's first name if you'd like, and then you simply hit send. You can pretty much email from any lookup screen in our system. Next, I'm going to go ahead and click on a player's record. This is where a player's photo would be uploaded, a copy of their birth certificate, all their information here. If the birth certificate is verified by the district registrar, the name, birth date, and gender is grayed out. So at that point, only the district registrar or the CalNorth State Office would have the ability to update or change a name or birth date. If you click on this Player's Applications tab, everything in our system is time, date, stamped, and tracked in the player's record. So here it says last modified by Natalie. That's a technical support rep at Affinity Sports. It would also show the registrar's name or the president or maybe your assistant that's helping you out. It'll also show you the season they're in. How did the record come onto the system? Was it through the online registration? Was it through data entry? Or was it through an upload? You can also click here. This is the order number. So if you are tracking payments through our online system, you would see if they paid by check, electronic check, or credit card, or whatever method of payment you're offering for your club. Okay. Next, you can click on this Parents tab. You can click on Edit, and this is where you can update the parent's address, phone, email, etc. Okay, so I'm going to go back to Player Lookup. If you search by pending application status, players have to be marked accepted and age legal in order for you as the registrar to place them on a team. Next, I'm going to go to Administrator Lookup. An administrator in our system is a head coach, assistant coach, manager, trainer, etc. So I'm going to go ahead and do a search. Here are my 8 administrators for my club. You can sort by their risk management status, approved. So I have 1 approved and the rest are still pending. If I click on the administrator, it'll show you all the teams they're associated with. It will show you their license and their risk management status. We will be doing an upload through the League One system, which will have all of the information that has already been recorded in that system. Okay. Okay, and the last lookup screen is Parent Lookup. You can search for a parent. And there will also be another feature, Family Lookup. So if you know the player's last name, first name, and date of birth, you can search the entire database for that player and create an application in your organization. Next, I'm going to click on Team on the left-hand side and then Create. This is how a registrar creates their teams in the system. So the system will default to the district, league, and club. We're working right now in the principal season. It always matches what's here on the left-hand side. You select the play level. So I'll do competitive, girls under 12. Here's where you change the team name. Our system will create a unique team identification number. So the first 2 digits are the district. The next 2 digits is the league, followed by a dash or a hyphen. This number here, 01, is your club number. C for competitive, R for recreational, and this is a girls under 12. the last 6 digits are editable. Go ahead and hit Add Team. The system will give you an overview of what you just created, and you can tell the system if you'd like to create any duplicates. Let's say you have 5 other girls under 12 teams you wanted to create. Okay, so I'll go ahead and hit Create Duplicates and hit Edit Details. And now I have a series of tabs going across the top of the screen. This is where a registrar will be at a lot of time, most of the time on our system. Okay. So again, Team Create, that's how you create one team at a time. Or you may use what we call our Team Creation Matrix. The matrix is a good tool if you're a very large organization and you quickly want to create tons and tons of teams. So the system will default to competitive. So you could say I have 1 girls under 10 and 1 boys. I've got 2 under 11. And I've got 4 girls under 12 and 5 boys under 12 teams. So I'll go ahead and hit Continue. It'll move to the Recreational tab. Say I got a couple of those. Go ahead and continue. And let's say I don't have a top soccer program. So I'm going to click the Finish button. The system will give you an overview of all the teams that you just created. I just created all these teams. Okay. Now I'm in the Team Lookup screen. Similar to the Player Lookup and Administrator Lookup, again, you can sort by play type, competitive. You can select a gender and an age group. You can also search by the team ID. You can enter the first 4 digits followed by a dash and then the last 4 digits or 6 digits. Hit search. That one didn't come up, so I'll just search again. I'll click on the team name or the team ID number. And I'm just going to work my way through. There's no correct way to, form your teams, but usually you first maybe put on your administrators, so you can search for your administrators here. You can search by their name or their team or their administrative ID number. And then you click on their name and you'd say, okay, I already have a head coach, I have an assistant coach, this one's going to be my manager. So I'll hit save. When you click on someone's record, the system will give you a brief snapshot of their information. So sometimes people have the same name or very similar, and maybe you know them from their driver's license or their ID number or their address. The next tab is Roster Player. So as long as your players are marked accepted and age legal, they're available to be put on your team. The system will default to the age of the team. This is a boys under 14. Boys under 14. So if you have younger kids playing up in age, let's say you have some U13s, you can click on their name, hit Add Player, or you could say show me all the available players to put on. You can hold down your Shift key and your arrow on your keypad and hit Add Players. It'll bounce all the players over to the right-hand side. It'll always show you the minimum number of players, the number of players you currently have rostered, and the maximum that your organization is allowing. So I'll hit Save Players. The next tab is Team Roster. Again, this will show you any photos that have been uploaded, what their role is, head coach, assistant coach, manager. Here are all the players. It'll show you their license and their risk status. If they had a birth certificate that's been approved, you'll have this image here. Again, coaches and managers can actually email from this screen. They'll have the ability to email their own players on their roster, as well as send an SMS text messaging. That is a group message, so if they send one person, it'll actually go to everybody on the team. Next, there's an activation tab. So if your team has passed all activation rules, you can print your player passes in the Cal North official roster. Let me see it. I'm going to go ahead and find a team, see if I have any that are activated. Okay, So once your team is activated, you will have this button, Print Selected Cards. In addition, you'll also have the Cal North official roster. Next, you'll click on this Tournament tab. And if there's anything open for registration, you will see it here available. You'd select the League or State Cup, Founders Cup, etc., and you click the Register option. The system will bring over your entire player roster, all your administrators, and everything over to your State Cup or League application. Okay. You can also go here to ID cards, and you can batch print your ID cards as well. You can say, show me all the players that have not been printed yet, and print them that way if you'd like. Next is the Event Manager. This is another available option or module that you have available to you and your organization. Some leagues or clubs use this for soccer camps, clinics, goalkeeping training, skill training, any academies. So you have full ability to set up this along with sessions. So maybe you offer a session for, let's say, Easter break and a reoccurring one, if the following weekend. You can set up different things like that. Next, we have reports. We have player count reports, financial reports. When Cal North sends you out an invoice from their accounting department, you'll be able to come in here and run the same report to make sure everything compares. If you're using us for online registration, we usually like the registration payment detail by product by player. That breaks it down so you can see who paid scholarship, financial aid, or any additional products that they selected. Okay. Back to players/administrators, we do have another function, which is payment management. So if you are managing and tracking your payments through our system, you would be available to use this screen. So you can search by credit cards, e-checks, discounts, scholarships, etc. It'll tell you the player's name, their order number, their ID number, what the registration fee is, how much they've paid, and if they have any due amount. Again, you can always send an email to let them know, hey, you're in bad standing, you haven't paid, etc. Okay, so just to go over things really quick, registrars go here to Team Create. They create their teams, or they can use the matrix. They can go to Player/Administrator, Add Player or Admin, enter the parent information, scroll down, hit Save and Add Players. Administrator lookup. This is where you search for all of your administrators with risk management or that have at least started the process and have not been fingerprinted or live scanned to date. Look up the teams. Search for your teams. The team roster will show you everything that you have built so far. Roster administrators, how you put your coaches and managers. Roster players, how you can add and remove players to the system. Once teams are activated, you have to go through a release and transfer process. So if I go back to player lookup, I click on a player's record that's assigned to a team. You will have a transfer tab within their record. And you could say the player's being released, or you could say they're transferring to another club or a league, and then go through the approval process. I hope this webinar has been instructional and informative, and if you have any questions, you can always click on Tech Support Contact here. This is the toll-free number, 877-700-1470. We're open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday, 7 to 3:30. You may also click here to submit a help ticket. So if you'd like to fill out your information, tell us a little bit about the problem you experience, you can enter that here, and a representative will get back to you that day. I thank you for your time. Have a great day.